Dear friends, welcome to Know Thyself YouTube channel. Good morning. Hope you're all staying safe and keeping well. I sincerely thank all of you who have subscribed to this channel and follow the channel. If you find the contents of the videos uploaded in this channel useful, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification or the bell icon so that you can be notified when a video is uploaded. Kindly share the videos with others or on the internet. In the last episode of Know Your Mind segment, we spoke about how the id, the ego, and the superego work together to constitute human personality and to produce human behavior. In this episode, we consider some practical benefits of the Freudian conception of the human psyche. Firstly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to better understand ourselves and others. Each of these concepts serves as a lens through which we can view our and other people's behavior. For example, the ego helps us to see the ways in which we strive for balance and control in our lives. The id represents our more primal impulses and desires, while the superego points to our sense of right and wrong. Combined together, these three concepts provide a comprehensive view of human personality. Thus, our understanding of these concepts can help us to see how our egos influence our choices, how our id might motivate our behavior, and how our superego guides our daily moral choices. Besides, this conception of human personality helps us to better appreciate the importance of maintaining a healthy balance between these three elements of our personality. Secondly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to deal with different people and situations. An understanding of these concepts provides us with a framework for comprehending human behavior and the probable motives behind them. If we can understand what motivates one's behavior, it can be easier for us to deal with them. For instance, if one's behavior is motivated by primal urges of the id or moral values of the superego, we can be more tolerant towards them. Similarly, if we know that someone's behavior is motivated by meeting the demands of their life situations, we can be more sympathetic towards them. Thirdly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to enhance our physical, mental, and overall well-being. Each of these parts of the psyche affects our physical health in different ways. The ego helps us to stay physically healthy by making sure that we take care of our bodies and make healthy choices. The id leading us to engage in risky behavior and to make unhealthy choices can affect our physical health adversely. The superego, helping us to cultivate a well-formed conscience, can guide us to make healthy choices that can improve our physical well-being. Likewise, imbalanced functioning of the id, the ego, and the superego can bring about mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and the like. If the ego does not have good ego strength, it would find it difficult to check the impulsive and harmful behaviors of a strong id. A controlling superego can make us overly critical of ourselves and others and prevent us from enjoying life. All these can cause mental health problems. By understanding these three elements of our psyche, we can become aware of the causes of our mental health problems and get the needed help to deal with them. Thus, our knowledge of the three elements of our personality and their harmonious functioning would improve our physical and mental health, besides facilitating our overall well-being. Fourthly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to live a more fulfilling life. Our knowledge of these three elements of our psyche, firstly, can help us to understand where our desires and impulses come from and their motivations, which can better equip us to control them. Secondly, it can help us to understand other people's desires, impulses, and motivations, which can better prepare us to communicate with them and resolve conflicts. Thirdly, it can help us to make better decisions. By understanding these three different forces working within us, we are enabled to weigh the pros and cons, the positives and negatives of any given issue, and choose the option that is most likely to bring us a favorable outcome. Thus, our awareness of the three elements of our psyche, by helping us to deal with ourselves and others better, and by making favorable decisions, helps us to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Fifthly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to prevent tension and conflict in our relationships. Difficulties and conflicts in relationship arise when these three parts of the psyche are not harmoniously functioning with each other. For example, if someone has a strong id, they may be driven by their immediate need for gratification and fail to consider the long-term consequences of their actions. This can lead to problems in relationship with someone else who is more thoughtful, considerate, and acts keeping in mind the long-term consequences of their action. Likewise, someone with a strong superego can be unduly critical of their partner and quick to judge them for their mistakes. This can create tension and conflict in relationship with someone else who tends to be more rational and realistic about life and can feel that they are constantly being judged. If you are constantly at odds with your partner, it would be worth considering whether one or more of these elements is out of balance. Thus, the more we are aware of the way these elements are affecting our relationships, the better we can manage them so as to bring harmony and understanding, peace and satisfaction in our relationships. Sixthly, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego help us to better manage our fluctuating emotional states and to cope well with the situations of stress. We experience states of emotional imbalance because one or more of these elements of the psyche are not working properly and harmoniously. For example, if the id is not being controlled by the ego, it can lead to emotional states of impulsiveness and irrationality. If the superego is overbearing, it can lead to emotional states of guilt, shame, and remorse. If the ego lacks good ego strength, it can lead to anxiety and depression. These divergent emotional states can lead us to experience stress and tension. The right knowledge of the nature and functioning of these three elements of the psyche would help us to handle the emotional states they produce rightly, thereby better cope with the situations of stress and tension that stem from these emotional states. Finally, the notions of the id, the ego, and the superego work together to create our sense of self. The ego is the part of the psyche that is rational and realistic. The id is part of our personality that is emotional and impulsive. And the superego is that part of our psyche that is moral and idealistic. Our individuality and sense of self depends on all these three parts of the human psyche and their harmonious and proper functioning. Hence, our understanding of the nature of these three elements of personality and making them function harmoniously are vital for us to experience our sense of self and our uniqueness as individuals and persons. From what we have said above, it is clear that the id, the ego, and the superego play an important role in our lives. Hence, it is important to be aware of the right functioning of these different parts of our psyche to make better decisions, deal with difficult and stressful situations, and to live a happier life. In the next few episodes, we will unfold the structure of the human psyche as presented by Carl Gustav Jung, the founder of analytical and depth psychology. Thank you for watching this video. Stay blessed until we see you again with another video.